Alright, Shalom. I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the ones who are suffering under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Yakalio, and I'm a prophet sent from Yahweh Shemishai to let you all know of the things that are coming, to let you all know of the Lord's prophecies, which includes the Lord's mercies and the Lord's judgment. And right now, given the times that we're in, which are in very beautiful times, okay? We have some final major prophecies to come to pass. We have the mark of the beast prophecy, which is the microchip. That is well on its way any day now. And then you have the prophecy of the salvation and the destruction, which is a simultaneous event. The destruction of America, which is Mystery Babylon the Great, Revelation chapter 17, and the deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel, which is the return of our Lord Yahushai. Alright, Yahushai will deliver 1/3 of our people from America and the rest of the elect from the four corners of the earth. And then the kingdom, which once Yahushai returns, we know that's the kingdom right there. Alright, and then we, the Israelites, will, live in everlasting happiness. No more sorrow, no more pain, everlasting life, being righteous. Where the second covenant is going to be fulfilled, where we will have the laws, statutes, and commandments written within us. So we will no longer go off, and we'll have these new bodies. And we will no longer be in these chains of darkness. You see? So these are the major prophecies to come. The microchip, the mark of the beast, the return of our Lord Yahushai, the salvation, which is also simultaneous with the destruction of Babylon the Great, and then also the kingdom. Alright? And right now, we are in the midst of World War III. Alright? Now, World War III has started, Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, right? The scriptures said that this would happen. The second woe is past, talking about World War II. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly, which is World War III. So now we're in the midst of World War III, but there is also something called Armageddon, right? Revelation chapter 16 and verse 16. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. So Armageddon, okay, is when Yahweh Shemishai draws all of the heathen towards Western Asia, which the world knows as the so-called Middle East, over there to war, right? And once Armageddon starts, right, it is going to rapidly lead to the launching of the ICBM missiles, which those ICBM missiles will destroy America. All right, but before Armageddon occurs, the mark of the beast prophecy has to be fulfilled. So look out for that, man. Look out for the mark of the beast prophecy, which is the microchip. That's the next major prophecy to come to pass. All right, all eyes on that. Because every single thing that we see happening right now is for the purposes of bringing it to, for that microchip to become mandatory worldwide. All right, lest we not forget that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is in his blessing. Okay, his blessing, as it says in Genesis chapter 27. I'll go straight to the point. Genesis 27 and verse 39, the blessing given unto Esau from our forefather Isaac. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. So they, at a point in time, they would have complete and utter rulership. And now this is their rulership that they're in. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass that thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So this is that period of time that we're suffering under right now. We the Israelites. Alright, we're suffering under the curses. Alright, the heathen are above us. This is a part of our punishment. Alright, Moses let us know that this would happen. Alright, so we the true Israelites were suffering. Alright, and the Edomites, they're in rulership. They're in complete and utter control. Alright, and I bring this up because as it says, in the book of Job chapter 9 and verse 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? So the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who are the wicked? The Edomites, Esau. Alright, in Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4, it says, Whereas Edom saith, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. Alright, so Esau, Edom, right? The Edomites, okay, their forefather is Esau. Alright, they are these so-called white people. And it says that Edom is the border of wickedness. They're the wicked. Alright, so in Job chapter 9 and verse 24, it says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who are these so-called white people? Alright, Esau is living through his blessing right now. Okay, he came into his blessing, right, in this blessing in 1492. Right, and they've been terrorizing the world since. But that blessing is coming to its end. Alright, and so I bring this up because regarding World War III and everything that we're seeing right now, alright, we have to remember that Esau is in his blessing and he's in full control. Alright, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Alright, so Esau has control over all of these leaders around the world. Alright, the world is a stage, it is all theater. Okay, so these tensions that you're seeing regarding America and with the state of Israel against Iran, or Russia against Ukraine, or the state of Israel against Palestine, and all these kinds of things, this is all theater. Alright, these world leaders aren't really against one another. The scriptures say in 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Alright, so we're not ignorant to his devices, man. Satan referring to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Satan, alright, being the adversary. The adversary to who? Yahweh Shemishai, and Yahweh Shemishai's holy chosen people, us, the Israelites. Alright, so they have full and complete control. Alright, and everything that they're doing right now is to lead towards that microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Right? This is what they call their New World Order, which has various different names to it. They also call it Agenda 2030, which that name has changed multiple times. You know what I'm saying? They have what is called the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is about the transformation of the world towards a digital society. So they're bringing about a digital ID, and they're bringing about digital public infrastructure, which is the transformation of the world and the systems into that digital society. And they're bringing about digital public central bank digital currencies, right, which is about them transferring the money from the paper cash system, the fiat money, towards a digital currency system, right? And all of this is for the purposes of facilitating that microchip. All right, the digital ID itself is all about consolidating all of your information into one place, right? It's a stepping stone towards the microchip. The central bank digital currencies And then also the stable coin, which was signed into law last year in America, is all about putting the money onto a digital platform, because the microchip itself is a digital device that will be making digital payments. You see? So everything is going digitally. And this is what this war is all about. And yes, it is fulfilling Bible prophecy because it is World War III. Alright, and so what Esau doesn't realize is that what he's doing is that he's bringing about his own destruction. He is bringing about the Lord's prophecies. The Lord is in full and absolute control. Right? The Lord is in full and absolute control, and the Lord controls all things. And Esau is being used to bring chaos and hell to this world and to bring about this microchip, which is going to fulfill the prophecy of the mark of the beast. You see? So Esau is really bringing about his own end. All right? This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 18. Salakio. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 18 and verse 18. He that liveth forever created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he. So the Lord only is righteous, man. So all the things that you see, it is the Lord doing it, and all the things that are done, it is righteous. Alright? And there is none other but he. Right? There is none that stands beside Yahweh Shemishai. Alright? And there is only one power in Yahweh. Who Yahweh Shai, they're two separate entities, fulfills the will of his fathers. So they're of one spirit, but they're of two different entities. You have the Father Yahweh and his Son Yahweh Shai. Okay? And Yahweh Shai fulfills the will of Yahweh. Okay? Who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the King of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. Okay? So, the Lord is in full and absolute control, man. So, everything that you see happening is in perfect order to be happening. And the Lord is using Esau, Edom, to bring about their own demise. Alright? Because from their point of view, the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, who are their ruling class, the elite bankers, they're rolling through with their agenda, their New World Order agenda. And so they have, pushed forward this war for, suspicious reasonings. You see what I'm saying? And now this war is going to be bringing about hell and chaos onto the world. And this is what they want. They want to bring chaos onto this world because a part of their motto is order ad chaos, order out of chaos. Okay? And so they want to usher in this microchip through chaos and distress. Right? And so we're in that time that is coming before the end of Esau's rulership. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him. Death and hell. Terrible times, chaotic times. Okay? We're in the time that mass death is going to be occurring. Okay? And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, talking about America. to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So we're heading into some very terrible and chaotic times, man. And what Yahweh Shemishah is doing right now, and has been doing for decades upon decades, since the prophet Abba Bivens, who we know through the Spirit is John the Baptist, Elijah the prophet, was waking up, fulfilling his same lot. You see? And as time has gone, that was in what? If I'm quoting it correctly, if not Salakia, I believe that was 1969. So it has been decades upon decades, all right, that the prophet's been out there. The elder apostle Tahar, I believe he has been teaching this truth 40 plus years. Some of the elect weren't even born. You know what I'm saying? Some of us weren't born. I was born in the 90s. Lord willing, I'm a part of the elect. You know what I'm saying? I'm of the hopeful elect. I hope to be saved. And we all are part of the hopeful elect, right? All of us that believe, we're of the hopeful elect. We're prisoners of hope. We hope that the days that are coming, that we may be protected by Yahweh Shemishai, because the Lord is going to be showing his mercy before the return of Yahweh Shai, right? Which will then be the ultimate mercy of the salvation. But before that, we're going to be experiencing the Lord's mercy. Jacob's trouble has started as well. A time like never before upon us as a nation. We're in that time. And Jacob's trouble is going to lead to, or rather Jacob's trouble is going to intensify very soon. All right, onto these very horrible and terrible times. Okay? It's going to reach its peak, man. And we're in that time. Things are accelerating. Okay? So, Revelation 6 and verse 8, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, talking about America, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So we're heading into these very terrible and chaotic times, and Esau is being used to bring about these chaotic times. And this war, World War III, right, which will eventually lead to Armageddon, right, it's going to bring about these terrible times, man. The writing's on the wall, okay? This is Psalms chapter 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, so the wicked, who are the Edomites, who are in rulership, these so-called white people, they are the Lord's sword. The Lord is in full control. This sword has been a whipping stick onto our people, all right, since he came into the power, right? And Esau has had dominion over us a few times, right, during our Greek captivity, during our Roman captivity, and then now during this captivity. All right, this captivity of, you can call it the American captivity, but this is a captivity that spreads worldwide onto us. You know what I'm saying? And they have complete and utter rulership. Okay? So the sword, man, is being activated in the fullness of his strength, in the fullness of his blessing, which is what? That sword. So Esau's blessing is the sword, and Esau is the Lord's sword, and that sword is going to be bringing about great chaos to this world, man, terrible times. All right? And the only way to be protected from this sword is to have the spiritual mark, which is the Thawa. Ezekiel 9 and verse 4. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, talking to the Israelites, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So the mark at H8420, it is in the Hebrew Thawa, which says, I desire a mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. So this is the mark, which is a spiritual mark that is upon the elect of the nation of Israel. And only the elect of the nation of Israel will have this, The elect was chosen from the foundation of the earth. There's nothing that you can do to be a part of the elect. You simply are a part of the elect. And the elect will receive this. The scriptures say that the elect shall praise his holy name. And this is what we're doing. We praise the names of Yahweh and Yahushai sincerely. Alright, and we fear those names as well. Alright, which fear is a good thing. We are supposed to fear our power. Fear is healthy. Alright, and those of us that do believe pray for more fear. Alright, so it's good. So the elect will have the spiritual mark, which is the Thawa, which is what you should hope to have. Right, and the elect will be protected in these days that are coming. Right, which are coming. The alarm is being sounded, man. Firstly, the prophets of Yahweh Shemishai have been telling you for decades upon decades upon decades that these times will come. And now these times are coming. They're on their way. Alright? And now you have the carnal watchers, right? The carnal watchers, people of this world, who are sounding the alarm, telling you that these are those days, man. The economy is in distress. The supply chain is broken. The money is weakened. It's about to fail. We're heading into inflation, stagflation, hyperinflation. We've already been experiencing inflation. So it's going to go into stagflation, which I believe is a certain thing that happens to the currency. Let me just verify that real quick. Alright, so stagflation is a rare, challenging economic condition combining high inflation, right, which we're experiencing and we're going to experience more of, slow growth, which means that, you know, there's no strengthening in the money, right, or the economy, and high unemployment, right, job loss, which is a part of the chaos and the distress that is going to be happening to the world. And then we're going to be heading into hyperinflation and the collapse of the money, right? And all of this is going to occur, the collapse of the money, to bring about the new monetary system, which is going to be that market chip, which is going to be that main mode of payment. Not just the main mode of payment, but the only mode of payment. You see? Economic distress. And as the scriptures say, in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So there's no new thing under the sun. And America, right, this Edomite rulership, America being the main hub, America is Mystery Babylon the Great, right? So America takes on to the spirit of ancient Babylon. America also takes on to the spirit of ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, and also ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt referring to when we were in that ancient Egyptian captivity, right? Those Egyptians, when we were in that ancient Egyptian captivity, those are the Hamites, who are the so-called Africans, okay? But it says in Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. What's that great city? Babylon the Great, America, okay? Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So America is likened unto Babylon, ancient Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And America is also the rebirth of the Roman Empire. So America is the mixture, right? The accumulation of all of these vile and wicked really places, right? And rulerships. Alright, it's a mixture of it all. It takes on to the spirit of all of these places. Alright, so America and this Edomite rulership is a very vile and disgusting place, man. Okay? But I bring up this point that it is spiritually Egypt, right? And in ancient Egypt, what happened? Salakia, the wind. The wind. In Genesis chapter 47 and verse 15, this is what happened in ancient Egypt when we were in that Egyptian captivity. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence, for the money faileth? So the money failed in ancient Egypt, and the money is going to fail in a modern day Egypt. Not talking about Egypt over there in Africa. I'm talking about America. The US dollar is going to crash, it's going to fail. But then, when the dollar collapses, all currencies are going to collapse. So it's going to be a worldwide monetary collapse that's going to be occurring. You see? And this monetary collapse is all about bringing in that new digital monetary system with the microchip at the forefront of it, where the microchip is going to be what is going to be needed to make payments. This is what is happening, and this World War III is going to bring it about. All right? World War III, it says 5 ways the Iran-US war could shock the global economy. Right? Esau Edom is tearing down the current global economy and is going to be bringing chaos and distress alongside with it, which is going to also include famine. Okay? You know, the phone call that I just received not too long ago was a phone call telling me to fill up the tank with gas, because everyone is seeing it, man, that the price of gas is going to start to rise to a very high rate, a very unfortunate rate, right? And people are becoming cautious of it. You see, to fill up their gas tanks or to store gas before the gas inflates very high. That was literally the phone call that I received, to fill up the gas tank. You see what I'm saying? Because everyone can see the writing on the wall that this war is not going to stop anytime soon. And it's not going to. All right? It's going to continue. Up until the mark of the beast prophecy is fulfilled, up until the war of Armageddon occurs, up until the end of Armageddon, where the missiles are shot towards America. We're in that time. And the Lord has been warning you, children of Israel, about these times, man. And now we're approaching it. So as the scriptures say, he that hath an ear, let him hear. As the scriptures say, the elect shall receive it, but the rest were blinded. All right, only the elect of the nation of Israel will receive this, because even while it is that all of this is occurring, prophecy is literally being fulfilled in these moments that we're living in. We're no longer in the time of, oh, this is coming, this is coming. No, we're past those times, man. Now it's the time where it is happening, it is occurring. You see what I'm saying? But yet our people are still going to ignore. They're going to ignore up until their death, man. And this is just what it is. Some of our people are simply going to have to enter the kingdom by way of death. Okay? But it says 5 ways the Iran-US war could shock the global economy. Right? So it says the Strait of Hormuz, which is now blocked, right? Iran has blocked that, which, by the way, right, let us not forget this important point. Esau is in rulership. So when you see it, they're saying Iran is blocking the Strait of Hormuz, it is the wicked elite of Esau Edom that is doing this. They control all of the leaders of this world. Okay? So they gave the mandate for them to start the war, for America, for the state of Israel, and for the Iran to start this war, right? Which is it's a real thing that is happening. It's a real thing. It is a real war. You know what I'm saying? People are really perishing. People are really dying, and economic distress is really coming. But it is all orchestrated. This is an intentional thing that is happening. It is not by happenstance. It is not by, oh, oopsie. You know what I'm saying? It is an intentional thing orchestrated by the wicked elite of Esau Edom to bring about their agenda. So they're the ones who close this Strait of Hormuz, right? They gave the mandate to it, okay? Same thing like out here in Jamaica. I know for a fact that the leaders out here in Jamaica received their mandate from America, the leaders of America, the leaders Esau, right? They received their mandate and their orders from Esau, and they follow through with them. I know that for a fact, okay? All these leaders, Esau is in control of. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. This is Esau's blessing. The fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. And by the sword will he rule. Okay? It is his dominion. So it's all intentional, man. And so what is coming, as it says, the Strait of Hormuz, which delivers 20 plus million barrels a day, which they're talking about, oh, it's going to affect China. It's going to affect China, which over there in China, there's chaos. There has been videos that have come out regarding the multitude of the Chinese people who are actually the Moabites, okay? Them and the Koreans, they're the same nation of people, man. They're the Moabites, okay? They're rushing the gas stations because the gas prices is going to increase. And then there's going to also be a shortage of gas, right? So the lines are extraordinarily long. It's not just happening out there in China, it's happening in America and various places around the world. And there was a notice that went out to various countries around the world that the people need to start stocking up on all things. Medical things, food, gas, everything. Okay? All these things. Yeah? Because of the times that we're coming into. The ramifications of war. And we can look at World War I, and we can look at World War II, and we can see of the things that occurred. Let's look at World War II, the Great Depression, which I do believe the Great Depression actually happened before World War II. All right, but the situation at hand is, regardless, war brings about economic distress, right? Let me see, because World War II started in 1939, Great Depression, I believe 1929 to 1939, right? So it's all the same thing. It's all the same playbook. All right, but let me read this. So it says, 1, oil prices surge. Disruptions at Strait of Hormuz could cause immediate sharp price increases affecting all energy costs. 2, global inflation rise. Why? Because of higher transport costs and manufacturing costs, which then that causes what? The increase of the price of goods. And then by way of also the price of services. Once one thing increases in price, like the manufacturing and the travel costs, they have to compensate for those losses, right, in order to continue to operate. So then they raise the price of goods to accommodate those losses, which then affects the people whose purchasing power doesn't increase, because they don't suddenly increase your paycheck. Your paycheck remains the same, so your purchasing power decreases. And these are the times that we're heading into, man, where people, I mean, there are some people who are already living like this, but the majority of the world is going to start living on these very stringent measures of only being able to afford certain things, right? In America, I was watching this video, and this woman was saying, yeah, she sees the price of gas going up, but what can she do? What can she do about it? Because her situation being in distress, you know, she looked like a so-called Negro woman, black woman. You know, she could be an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? So she's saying this is her situation, and what she does is that she can only put $20 into her gas tank and it will just have to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is a reality for people, man. Right? So global inflation rise, higher transport and manufacturing costs, transfer inflationary pressure, challenges central bank rate strategies, shipping and trade disruption, vessels rerouted, insurance premiums jump. Freight costs increase, slows goods between continents. Woo-hoo. You know what that means. And you know, I read this last night, but I didn't catch that. But that's why the Spirit has me reading it again to catch it this time. All right? Because it says, look at the order of things to happen. Right? And let's get the scriptures too. Let's get the scriptures, man. Let's go to Ezekiel. All right, so this is Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, talking to the nation of Israel. Why? Because the Lord is only concerned regarding our people. These warnings go out onto the Lord's holy chosen people. All right, the Lord isn't concerned with the disgusting heathen. The Lord doesn't care about the disgusting heathen, man. They're vile creatures. Okay? And Esau is an even viler creature than the rest of the heathen. They're the sons of the wicked. The rest of the heathen, they're sons of men. But they're all vile and disgusting. They're nothing in the sight of the Lord. Okay? So it says, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care. And they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. Because you see, this thing is gradually coming in. And when it gradually is coming in, there are stages that happen. So first, right, it's going to be that global inflation, right? Right now, the oil prices are going to be surging, right? This is the sounding alarm. Then global inflation is going to rise. Right? Global inflation has already been happening, but it's going to start rising. Okay? Where the price of goods is going to be a certain kind of way. And so, as I mentioned, your purchasing power is going to be decreased. So, people are going to buy X amount. First of all luxury spending is going to be done away with. So, taking trips and going to hotels and traveling from continent to continent, now, man, it's going to be survival mode for people. And it's going to be where, you know, there's going to be food and, you know, people are going to have to pay their rent. They're going to have to pay their car note or whatever. Some people are going to lose their car. They're going to lose their transportation. You see what I'm saying? People are going to lose their homes. It's going to get that bad for many people. All right? But the food and the water, it's going to be like they're going to pay their gas. They're going to pay for gas because some people have gas stoves. The electricity, they're going to pay for water. They're going to have to be like, maybe they won't be able to pay their light bill, or maybe the water is going to have to be more important, or maybe they forego the water and they buy, you know, the bottles of water and they say, okay, they're going to wash with this. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of different situations are going to be occurring. But as the scriptures say, they shall eat bread by weight and with care. So people are going to be purchasing food, and yeah, I say they. All right, because these things are not for us, man. These things are not for the hopeful elect and subsequently the elect of the nation of Israel. These things are not for us, man. These things are for the wicked, unbelieving of our people and the disgusting, vile heathen that will just experience these things, because they're going to experience these things too. Jacob's trouble is everyone's trouble. But once again, the Lord only warns his people regarding these things. Okay? The warning is only for us, man. So you Israelites are going to buy your food, your meal. You're going to go to the grocery store, right, out here in Jamaica. I mean, however it is that individuals' budgets are set, it's going to be like, oh, well, bread used to be this price, now bread is this price. You can only buy, instead of maybe 2 loaves of bread, 1 loaf of bread, or even half of a bread. Do you know that out here in Jamaica there's some shops? You know, you have these local shops that will literally sell you like a bag of salt, or a bag of black pepper, or a bag of seasoning. A bag, literally a bag. It doesn't come in like you know, those containers or anything. There's some shops that sell like bread where it's like 3 slices of bread. Some people are actually living like this. People aren't just buying loaves of bread. Some people can only afford to buy like 3 slices of bread at a time. But these things are going to become much worse, you see. And all of you that love to be prideful and proud, talking about, oh, a third world country and how they're living in a first world country and how they're so blessed to live. No, not blessed. They don't use those words, right? Because they're godless, right? They'll say how they are so lucky and whatever else, you know, to be born in a first world country, and then they scoff and scorn at others born in a third world country. Let me tell y'all something just straight up. A place like Jamaica may be a third world country, and America's a first world country. But you see, the people in Jamaica that are of the upper class, they live just like individuals of the upper classes of any other country around the world. The only difference is the look of the place, where the general infrastructure of the country will not look as developed or as nice as in a first world country. But people of the upper class in these third world countries are living far better than the majority of the people in these first world countries, and are living just like the upper class. People in these third world countries decide to live in some of these third world countries because they're able to build a certain kind of life of making far more money in that third world country than they're able to make in that first world country. You ever hear of the saying that it's better to be a big fish in a small lake than a big fish among big fishes in the ocean or something like that? That's what they do. And then what they do is that they, with all of the wealth that they accumulate, right, by extracting the resources from those third world countries, they're able to live luxuriously in these first world countries too. So you people are very stupid and ignorant over there in those first world countries, man, especially in America. All right, there's a lot of money in Jamaica, a lot of money in Jamaica. All right, a lot. And the other third world countries too. But now we're at a point where whether it is a first world country or a third world country, they're all one and the same. The last time I traveled to America, I was looking at the place and I was like, yo, this ain't looking no different from how Jamaica is, right? I've lived in both places for an extended period of time, okay? And there was a period of time where America really looked grand and luxurious, but it doesn't anymore. It is looking very popped down, right? So the entire world is deteriorating, and America arriving to these kinds of points is showing the deterioration of Esau's kingdom. But going back to this, all right, as you know, I may have diverted a little bit, but it's all still very relevant to the situation at hand, all right, because it's showing you the downfall of Esau's kingdom, when it is that his glorious America is falling and deteriorating and looking just like how Jamaica is, with the madmen out in the street, right, and the beggars out in the street, and the homelessness and all these kinds of things looking like just like it speaks to the times that we're in. All right, the end of the rulership of the Edomites. So this thing is happening in stages, right? So people are going to be measuring their food and taking care of it and being like, okay, go to the grocery store, can only buy this. They won't be able to consume the same amount of food that they were consuming before. right? So then it says, so that's stage 2, global inflation rise, all right? Higher transport and manufacturing costs transfer inflationary pressure, right, on goods and services, challenges central bank rate strategies, okay, such as, you know, loans and all that kind of stuff, which, you know, and then it says 3, shipping and trade disruption. Now this is the scary, this is when it's gonna get really scary for you people, man. And I laugh because it is a joyous thing unto me, and it's a joyous thing unto all of us. We're of one spirit. All of the prophets of Yahweh Shemishai, we're laughing, man. You see, while you people are walking around moping and sad and depressed and angry and woe is me, we're walking around with an extra pep in our step, man. You know what I'm saying? We're happy because we're seeing the downfall of our enemies. We're seeing the downfall of Esau's kingdom, which we know it is that transitionary period towards our kingdom. As scriptures say, when the righteous are in authority, because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, so we're in that period of time right now where the kingdom is being translated to us, the Israelites. So Esau's kingdom is falling, man. All right, and the Edomites themselves, they're starting to suffer. And the curses are slowly but surely starting to fall upon them. And when it is that Yahushua returns and the kingdom is set up, right, that's when the curses are going to be fully upon them, right? But we're joyous, man, we're happy. And the scriptures say, remember this, man, the scriptures say that in famine and destruction thou shalt laugh, right? And the Lord says that my servant shall eat. So we're going to be laughing during these times, man, okay? So now, shipping and trade disruption, vessels rerouted, right? Insurance premiums jump, okay? Freight costs increase, all right? Slows goods between continents. Slows goods between continents, which means that the ships with the food aren't going to be going to the countries with that food. You see? You see? So what does that mean? That people aren't only going to be dealing with price increases, but there's going to become a shortage of food. Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, which means that the grocery stores are going to be empty soon, okay? Which means that the famine is coming. And you people can joke about it, but the famine is coming, okay? This is what it's all leading to. This is what the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, the elite bankers, are setting up, right? They have a movie, because this is what they do. They reveal their plans, right? Revelation of the method, or method of the revelation, whatever it is, man. Where they reveal their plans in their media. And they even, and remember, the news is the media as well. So when they tell you these things are coming, it is a part of their witchcraft, their sorcery. Okay? So there is this movie where they said that they're going to bring about, you know, chaos and distress upon the world. Right? It was like a movie where you had this guy who, he was like in these the vents or something like that, where he was able to look at this meeting that was happening, which was a meeting that was being conducted by the elite, you know, the wicked elite of Esau, Edom. And they said that they're going to bring about chaos and distress to the world. And then what they're going to do as their trump card, right, as when they really turn things up, is that they're going to unleash the famine. They're going to bring about the food shortages. Okay? Now this is what is coming. This is what is on its way. You see? Okay? So this is what it's talking about. 2 Ezra 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right? Why? Because just as it said, shipping and trade disruption, vessels rerouted, insurance premiums jump, freight cost increase slows goods between continents. Okay, so the goods are going to slow down going to the continents, right? So 2 Ezra 6 and verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. So the news is going to make the announcement. The countries around the world are going to announce to their citizens that they're going to be it's not just going to be the price increase, right? But the food shortages, okay? And you know, out here in Jamaica, right? I saw the number that the brother, the elder brother Kabash brought out recently, right? That it's the number is, according to the AI, about 70 to 80% of the food in Jamaica is imported. Y'all know what that means. You should know what it means immediately. It means that about 20 to 30% of the food in Jamaica is from Jamaica, right? And so about 70 to 80% of the food that the people are consuming is brought in by those same ships that are about to not be coming to the island. Slows goods between continents, right? Not just even food, but other things that people want, right? All of it is going to be slowed down, but the food is going to be that main thing, okay? So 70 to 80%, man, all right? So imagine when it is that the ships stop coming to Jamaica and only 20 to, do you know that out here in Jamaica, right, regarding beef consumption, that there's not enough beef for the amount of beef consumed? So the beef that is out here in Jamaica, it goes first to the restaurants and to the grocery stores locally. But you see, the manufacturers that use the beef, like, you know, the Jamaican patties, right, like the beef patties and stuff like that, and other places, they have to import their beef from wherever else, other countries. You see what I'm saying? They have to import beef from other countries to create those patties, right? Which, who knows what kind of meat that is, you know what I'm saying? But that goes to show you that once it is that the ships stop coming to Jamaica, Jamaica won't be able to sustain itself on the food that's here. So that's going to bring about chaos and anarchy to this place. And I'm sure it's the same for all these other countries, because this is how it's been set up, where countries are trading and exporting and importing things to one another, right? And I don't know it for every single country, but for this country out here, which I'm out here, okay, it is that the food itself, basically, you know, if, you know, I bear witness to this, you know, where I've seen, like, the grocery stores out here, they replenish like twice a week. You'll see the trucks replenishing with goods twice a week. So imagine that, twice a week. So imagine when they stop coming, there won't be any replenishment. And you know, the thing about it is that already from the time of the COVID, the grocery stores in Jamaica have not recovered to what they were before, where they were full. Now you will go to the grocery stores and you'll see certain parts empty for, you know, a period of time. So it's gonna crack very easily, man. It's gonna break very easily out here, right? And then it says in 2 Ezra 6 and verse 24, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, because the famine, and Esau knows this, the famine is going to bring about turbulent times and great chaos. And the people are going to be fighting one against another, man, like enemies. Your neighbor that was friendly with you, not going to be friendly anymore. Friends are going to turn one against another. Families are going to turn one against another, where it's not going to be about the extended family or even, like, you know, cousins and aunties. It's going to, or uncles. It's going to be about, oh, you know, their immediate family and protecting that. Close the ranks to feed the immediate family. And even chaos is going to happen between them. Okay? Everyone's it's gonna become every man for himself. And don't forget the pestilences that Yahweh Shemisha is gonna unleash. Because Easter is going to be bringing chaos from all angles. Inflation, job loss, the stress and depression that will occur from it. The next pandemic, which we know it's coming, they already told us it's coming, right? Yahweh Shemishai lets us know that it's pestilences that's going to occur. In Matthew 24, Yahushua lets us know that pestilences and famine is coming. We're in that time of Matthew 24. Okay, I'm going to get that because, you know, it is literally what is happening. So it's like, it's coming out like daily for me. You know what I'm saying? It's coming out like almost daily. You know, but it's the times that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So we prophesy. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So you see, when that famine comes, do not be fooled. It's coming in a multitude of ways. Yes, the ships will stop coming due to the war. The price is going to increase, all that kind of stuff. But when it is that Yahweh Shemishai sends the pestilence, what do you think is going to happen? Look at the plagues of Egypt. The plagues of Egypt affected the livestock and the people. So people are going to be perishing, and the meat is going to be infected as well. So it's going to perish as well. The Lord can bring about famine by way of destroying the livestock, and also by destroying the vegetation and the crops, the fruits. There's no escape. All of this, you know, right now it's the spring in Jamaica, and it's very beautiful indeed. All right, you can see the pui trees. You know, they bear their, you know, it's very beautiful. You can see they bear the yellow flowers, right, during the spring, right, coming up to the new year, the true new year. Okay, and everything is lush and green in Jamaica. Everything is bearing, you know, things are starting to bear fruit. You know, on my you know, at my home, right, the vegetation that is there and the fruits and stuff, you can see that they're bearing, and they're getting ready to be to bear fruit and be bountiful. Okay, and the thing is that a pestilence of like what I think it's locusts can just pass through, and all of this that you see that is green will be gone. No leaves on the trees, all the vegetation gone, just bare and dirt. Okay, if that's the correct word, just bare and dry. All right, let me see. See if that's a good word. Oh yes, a dearth is a scarcity, lack or insufficient supply of something, often implying a serious shortage, right? So there's going to be a dearth of food, a famine. All right, so yes, dearth is appropriate in that situation, right? And then to compound on that, the food not coming in, right? So everything is coming in from all kinds of different angles. Okay, so people are going to be fighting one against another. I'm not finished because it's 5, right? So 5. So after 3, which is the slowing of the goods first. So first, the oil price increase. 2, the global inflation. 3, shipping and trade disruption. The ships not going to the countries. The food shortages happening. 4, aviation routes impact, right? So flight paths over conflict zone are rerouted, increases fuel consumption, and tickets on flight paths over conflict zones are rerouted, increases fuel consumption and ticket prices for long haul travel, which, let's be real about that. Let's be real. All right, the people ain't gonna have no time to be taking no flights because they're gonna be needing to spend their money on survival in their immediate situation. of needing to buy food and all these kinds of things. Okay, so the flights, whatever. But on five, here it is, 5, financial market volatility, which is speaking to the downward spiral of the US dollar towards economic crash, economic depression, and then towards what? The microchip, which is the mark of the beast. You see how beautiful it is. And you know what, if the Spirit allows, I might even bring this out again in another video, man, and expound upon it. Yeah. It says geopolitical uncertainty causes turbulence. Investors flee to safe haven assets like gold and bonds, which is talking about the crash of the US dollar. So this is what we're in. And do not be surprised to see how quickly this all occurs. You see what I'm saying? Don't be surprised to see how quickly this all accelerates, man. We're now in March. Okay? And everything is moving quickly. As the scriptures say, in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, talking about the so-called white man, the Edomites, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he's coming with great wrath, man. That's why all of this is happening so speedily. And that's why he's not taking his foot off of the gas pedal. You see what I'm saying? The war is not going to stop. It's only going to accelerate, and it's going to accelerate towards these things. Oil price increase, to then the increase of goods and services. Come on now. All right, to then the ships not going to the countries to bring about the food shortages and the famine. Okay? Into further distress towards economic collapse. This is the game plan, and it's all being played out. And the thing about it is that when you know the scriptures and you know Bible prophecy, the Lord warned that it would happen, and the prophetic timeline lets us know that it would happen in this type of way. You see, Esau knows his time is short because his kingdom is coming to an end. They know it, man. The wicked elite of Esau, Edom know it, because they know they're the Edomites. And their witchcraft and sorcery on the left-hand side, it is not, we know through the Spirit that it is not working the way that it used to work for them. All right, we know that through the Spirit, man. And Achium brothers have received dreams and visions regarding this, that the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, they're losing their power, that things aren't working as it used to work for them. So they're getting desperate. Okay? And they know that they need to move quick. And so this is what we're going through right now. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Okay? So now going to Matthew Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Right? The sign of thy coming and of the end of the world. Okay, the end of the world, which is the Greek word aeon at G165, which says a period of time and age, which is talking about the end of the period of time, age of the Edomites. So really this, right, can be read as, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the rulership of the Edomites? Because we know that Yahushua returns at the end of Esau's kingdom to put them out of power. You see, the scriptures say that Esau is the end of the world, talking about them, the Edomites, the so-called white people, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the end of Esau's kingdom is the beginning of our kingdom, right? As I mentioned before, right? Because of unrighteous dealings and injuries, riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Translated to who? The Israelites, the Lord's holy chosen people. We know what is coming next. That when it is, right, the statue, okay, in the book of Daniel, we're at the last end, the feet. So when the feet are done away with, next is the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Yahweh Shemishai, the kingdom of the Israelites. This is that end. This is that kingdom, man. Iron mixed with miry clay. That was partly strong and partly broken. This is it, man. So once this kingdom falls, our kingdom comes. See how Yahushua is returning in this point in time, right? And Yahushua said, and ye shall hear of wars, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, rumors of wars, we're past that point. This is so joyous to see, right? Because the prophecy is moving along, the prophecy is accelerating, and prophecy is being fulfilled, right? Just like the prophecy of the least of the flock shall draw them out. They shall make their habitation desolate with them, to paraphrase. Right, which is the state of Israel drawing out America to go to war, right? So this has happened, right? And made their habitation desolate with them, which we know that they shall lose. So it's a prophecy that has come to pass, but it's in it. We're in it now, and so it will go to the point where, as it says, they shall make their habitation desolate with them, right? Where we know that they're going to lose the war at hand, which is World War III, okay? But the prophecy has been fulfilled, all right? And now we're in it. Just like how World War III has been fulfilled and now we're in it, okay? Leading towards Armageddon. You see what I'm saying? So we were in the time of wars and rumors of wars, and now we're past that point. And then it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Right now, this is the point that we're in, you see? Nation rising against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And so now, the state of Israel and America raising up against Iran, and Iran vice versa, and everything that is happening, the heathen nations rising against one another. This is all Bible prophecy. And this is that point that we're in right now. So you see, we're following the prophetic timeline. Okay, and now this is the time we're in. So it's all in the same verse where Yahushua says, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Now the earthquakes, in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, it says to measure the time diligently, right? And to look at the times that we're in. Look at two other signs. Uppers of the people around the world, which are the protests, which have been happening very heavily for the past few years and are still happening and will continue to happen and will lead into what is 2nd Ezra 15, a sedition among men, right? A violent uprising, okay, against those in authority. It's Bible prophecy, right? Because we're not saying, you know what I'm saying? This is Bible prophecy, and we're just speaking to what the prophecy says is going to happen. And it says the earthquakes as well. So the earthquakes is a sign of the end, and the earthquakes are very frequent, okay? Jamaica itself, a place that is not where earthquakes are common, are now starting to feel earthquakes commonly, tremor after tremor after tremor. So now the famine and the pestilences are coming, you see? So the famine, right, we're in the time, the famine is next, and going back to those 5 ways that the global economy is going to be collapsing, right, from the oil prices increase, we're in that period of time right now, into the global inflation, right? There's inflation already happening, it's going to get worse, into the trade disruption where the ships aren't going to be going and the countries are going to have to self-sustain on what is there, which the countries are not going to be able to, which is going to bring about famine, right? Okay, and then the pestilences are going to be increased. And by the way, in the Genesis that I read before regarding the money faileth, right there, in Genesis chapter 47 and verse 13, it says, "And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine." So in ancient Egypt, there was not only famine, but economic collapse, the money failing. It went hand in hand. And the same thing's going to happen again. There's going to be famine and there's going to be economic collapse. Right? The US dollar is going to collapse. It's going to fail. You see? So this is all the play-by-play into what they say is the aviation routes, which, you know, we know whatever with that. But the last stage, stage 5, is when the money crashes. And this is what we're heading towards, man. The mark of the beast prophecy, which is the microchip. So now, going back to Matthew 24, and verse 8, right? Well, I'll read verse 7 again. "For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom," literally happening, "and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." So these are literally the next judgments to come. The famine, the pestilences, multiple diseases and plagues to affect the world, the earthquakes, which are going to, you know, despite the frequency of them right now, it's going to become even worse. And then Yahushua said, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So these are the beginning of sorrows, you see? So when these things are going on, then it's going to be the crash of the dollar, which is going to bring about great economic distress, man. Okay, and turmoil. And it's going to usher in the mark of the beast, which is that microchip. Okay? And so we're heading towards it. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. He causeth all." He who? The wicked elite of Esau Edom, who Yahweh Shemishai is using to orchestrate all of this, to bring about the war, to bring about the economic distress, to bring about the collapse of the money, to bring about the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. Okay? "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond." It's going to become a worldwide thing where everybody is going to experience it. Mandatory microchipping worldwide in order to continue to function and be a part of society. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that mark is a physical mark at G5480, which is a charagma, which says a stamp and imprinted mark. Alright, so John, right? John of the book of Revelation, when he saw the people of this world being microchipped, remember, he was in Roman captivity and they spoke Greek. And so when it is that, you know, the slave masters, the ruling class there, would, you know, stamp their slaves or mark their slaves, it is called in the Greek a charagma, and it's a physical thing, right? And that charagma is an imprinted mark. So when he saw the microchip going into the hands of the people and the foreheads of the people, he said charagma. You see what I'm saying? "And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." So unless you have the charagma, the microchip, you will not be able to buy or sell. In other words, you're going to be shut out from society. So unless you have the microchip, you're not going to have access to food. You're not going to have access to medical services or government services or any service. Okay, this is where it's heading towards. All right, and the economic collapse that's going to come about, they're going to be like, oh, well, guess what? So conveniently, they had this other monetary system, because it's the devil, right? This monetary system that they've been building up and that they've been telling the world about, this digital monetary system, and also how convenient it will be that it will be, you know, ready to go. But they're going to tell you, oh, but guess what? You're going to have to receive this microchip. to be a part of it, to be a part of this new world. You see? And that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. And so we know how it is, man. We know how the microchip works already. The microchip itself is a digital device that stores all of your data and information on it. Which, when we break it down, right, when you break it down, you'll encounter the word corax, which is the device used to insert the microchip, right? The corax, it pierces the skin, and then you break it down, you go to the grapho. So the grapho is that part of that data and information that is presented from this digital technological device, right? And it is presented when the microchip is scanned, and then it communicates with the other technological device to bring up that data and information regarding the individual. Okay, this is how the microchip works, right? And the microchip stores your personal information, all of your data and information on it, right? And then also your financial information, medical information, everything that you can think of is stored on it. And then it's used to also open doors and stuff like that. All right. And so that's why we say that the digital ID is a stepping stone, because when it is that they introduce the digital ID, first of all, it's a digital ID, which is digital information about an individual stored on it, which that is what the microchip is about, having all of your information digitally and data digitally stored on it. That digital ID is about consolidating all of that information into one place, right? And then they're adding your medical to it, your financial to it, your it's going to have your biometric ID on it. Right? They're going to attach your phone to it. They're attaching every single thing to it, man. And the digital ID is about connecting people with things, places, and whatever else, man. Okay? So it is a stepping stone, because then what they're going to do with the microchip, when that prophecy comes to pass, they would already have the systems in place. And so this is what we've been telling you, that the systems are being put in place, right? So they're going to have that the system where they'll just simply transfer. They already consolidated all your information, right? Then they're just going to transfer it onto the microchip. The money already, there's already going to be a digital payment system at hand, whether it be the stable coin in America or the central bank digital currencies in various places around the world. They already will just have a digital monetary system in place, right? And then the digital public infrastructure, which is about developing the world, right? The cities, the towns, to be able to facilitate microchip payments and microchip usage. So when it is that people are walking around the world, they are going to use their microchip. So when people go for medical services, they go to the doctor, there's not going to be any more need for files or anything. People will have all of that stored on their microchip, and so they'll just go to whatever doctor they want to go to, and they'll swipe their hand, and the microchip will reveal all of that data and information regarding their medical history. When they go to any place to make payments, wherever it is around the world, they will simply just use the microchip and it will just make that payment. You see? And remember this, man, they're doing away with the currencies. It's going to be a one world payment system, right? This is a part of their new world order. A one world government, a one world money, right? So they're going to do away with all of that, man. US dollar, Jamaican dollar, all of that is going to be one. It's going to be one digital monetary payment system using that microchip to make those payments. This is what it is, man, and we're in that time. And so it says, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 square and 6. So let's go into the word 6 at G5516, which is Chi Psi Stigma. we have to go a little deeper at G4742, which is presented here. Which says, stigma, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. A mark pricked in. When you do your research on the microchip, which is the mark of the beast, you will see that in order for it to be implanted, they prick the skin with the device, which is the Corax, and then it inserts the microchip. It pricks the skin. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded or pricked into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. So Esau, what system he's bringing in is his next level slavery system, which is going to be a digital slavery system where he's going to mark his slaves with a digital device, which is the microchip, which is the charagma, which is the mark of the beast, so that he will know your every single step, your every single breath, all these kinds of things. Because yes, the microchip will also know your vitals. All right, it has already been revealed that regarding the brain microchip, that it checks your vitals. It can tell your vitals and how it all is doing. Okay, so once it's in one technology, the brain microchip is the same thing with the hand technology. Okay. So once you wake up, they'll know you wake up. Once you go to sleep, they know you go to sleep. Once they know that your heart rate is raising, they'll just know your heart rate is raising. They'll know all these things, man, including knowing wherever you are, every step you take, every payment you make, every single thing you do, man. They want to be like Yahweh Shemi Shai, where the Lord, you know, with the Lord's power, being in control of everything, just knows everything and just sees everything. You know what I'm saying? The limitless power of the Lord. So they want to be like the Most High, as the scriptures say, who exalteth himself. You know what? Let me get it. Actually, before that, it says primary stezo to prick, i.e. prick, a mark, incised or punched, right? For recognition of ownership. All right, so I said he wants to be like Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who is who? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and they have been revealed for exactly who and what they are. All right? The Edomites, the wicked, the son of perdition, which is the son of destruction, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. And this is what they want to do, man. They want to be like the Most High. Really, it goes back to the blessing. They want that blessing, man. All right, which is complete and utter rulership and everything that comes with it, the promise. All right, this is what Esau is mad about and is still mad about to this day. All right, and fuck you, Edomites, man. Woe unto you. All right, and when Yahushua returns, just know that the Israelites, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel, is going to, as the scriptures say, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the wisdom and patience of the saints. So you have done unto us the same things that shall be done unto you, righteously, okay, and with spiritual power. So you wait until the Israelites, wait until Yahushua returns and the Israelites are able to deal with you how you're supposed to be dealt with, Esau, and the rest of you vile fucking heathen, man. All right? So Esau is going to attempt to achieve a godlike status through carnal means, and he's going to attempt it by way of those carnal means, by way of his microchip technology and, the rest of his technology, which is, his spiritual power on the left-handed side, which is a meager power compared to what we are going to inherit very soon. All right, and so the message is, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The message is, do not take the microchip, because it is the mark of the beast. Right, there's a judgment for our people who take the microchip in Revelation chapter 14, verse 9 to 10 in America, that if you take the microchip, you're going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. And, regarding the rest of the Israelites around the world who take the microchip, we shall see what will occur when Yahushua returns. That's all I can say about it. We shall see. Okay, but do not take the microchip. It's the mark of the beast. And so the hour of temptation is coming. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, which is the hour of piercing, right? The hour of piercing, because when you break down that word temptation, which is also the word try, in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, it breaks down to pierce, right? So it is the hour of piercing. Why? Because it is the hour of piercing, the hour of the microchip, right? And the microchip is administered by piercing the flesh. You see what I'm saying? So it is the hour of temptation, which also it is going to be for us in this truth, a trial of our faith, to see who really believes in Yahweh Shemishai. All right? But just know this, that we are covered, man. We are covered by the blood of Yahushua. So remain faithful. Those of you of the hopeful elect, man, our salvation draweth nigh. We're closer than ever before. And as the scriptures say, now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Look at the times that are happening, man. Things are going to be escalating very quickly, and the scriptures say that the days are going to be shortened for the sake of the elect, to paraphrase. So the days are going to be shortened for our sakes. All right? And so we're of the hopeful elect, but there must be something within you as well to believe that you are of the elect, man, and that Yahushua will save you. You must believe that. And that Yahweh Shemishai is going to protect us in these days that are coming. You must believe it. There must be no doubt. All right? And the times are going to come where, the flesh might jump. You know what I'm saying? But we know that we're governed by the Spirit of Yahweh Shemishai. And so the Spirit will allow us to know that everything is going to be okay. And that is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. All right? That are going to be able to help us in the time of in those times. Wisdom of knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The stability goes into the Hebrew word amawana, which is faith. And faith is a gift given unto us. So our faith is what is going to keep us steady in these days, man. Faith in what? The mercies of Yahweh Shemishai and the sacrifice of Yahushai and the promise and everything, man. So it draweth near. All right? And this word is going to stop going out very soon. That's another thing that is going to happen somewhere along this timeline of heading towards economic collapse and distress, and the mark of the beast coming in. And Esau has put in has been putting in those laws and regulations to stop this word from off the highways and byways and off the social media, the YouTube, which is the main way that this word is going out right now. All right, so with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. And once again, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom unto the 144,000, and unto the men, women, and children that believe, because I know y'all are out there, man. Some of you passed by and honk. Shalom.